Hey guys, Andrew Shrout here in the sideboard. I'm sitting with Ken Crocker. How's it going, Ken?
Hey, doing well yourself?
I'm doing all right.
Good.
And you have shown up today with a little bit of a spicy number.
A little bit. Tired of playing the mono-colored decks all the time, so try something new.
Wanted to diversify a little. You are playing Rug Monsters.
Yeah, definitely.
So tell me a little about this deck and how you arrived at it and why you chose to play it.
Well, I've been playing the green-red monsters before, and Sam Black and Adrian Sullivan had posted about Rug, and it seemed interesting getting Kiora in there to help with the control matchups. Like me some Ralzeric too. And then, I don't remember his name, but he top-8'd the Invitational.
Chris Arnold.
Chris Arnold. He top-8'd the Invitational with a very similar list, so I decided, and then no one picked up on it. No one, they haven't played it since, so I'm trying to see why, and so far it's working out. So.
He top-8'd, but the actual top-8 was played out using the Legacy deck, so it kind of flew under the radar.
Exactly,
so you gave it a spin, like what you saw?
Like what I see so far.
So this deck, it has the monster shell, like Pelucranos, Courser of Krufix, just the creatures you see in every monster deck. What really sets this deck apart, to me anyway, is the number of planeswalkers in it. So it's kind of a Rug Monsters deck. It's also kind of a Rug Super Friends-ish.
Yeah, I mean, I had to write down the deck list name, and it was either Rug Monsters or Rug Super Friends. I couldn't really decide. I mean, there's 9 of them in there, but
9 total. You have one Kiora the Crashing Wave, 2 Ralzeric, 2 Xenaghost the Reveler, 1 Chandra Pyromaster, and 3 Domri Raid.
Yeah, I mean, if you're not going to put the planeswalkers into the control colors, I'll find a way to play them. You know.
Fair enough. So how have these planeswalkers been for? I know Xenaghost and Domri. This is something that monster decks have played for a while. Kiora, Ralzeric, these are kind of new additions. So talk to me a little about those cards and how they perform for you.
So Kiora's been pretty good. There's been a couple times when I've had cards I need on top of the deck with Courser revealed, and I just play Kiora, draw it, and my opponent now knows I have it, so that they have to play completely differently.
Sure.
Kiora is in there also to help against the mono black deck, because Desecration Demon's a bit of trouble. Ralzeric kills your Night Veil Specters, and Ralzeric's been pretty good as well. He's been helping with the ramp, so I can ramp up to those Sylvan, that Sylvan Primordial there. That's been a little spicy today. So.
All right, fair enough. So Ralzeric, kind of a ramp spell, kind of a burn spell, just a little in between.
Yeah, it's a nice little value guy.
Okay. Yeah, you mentioned you have the 1 Sylvan Primordial. That's, again, not something that most Monsters decks play, but something that you can, I guess, afford to do because you have that extra ramp.
Yeah.
And then you also have 1 Aetherling. So a couple of odd one-ofs in terms of your monsters.
So there's a problem with Elspeth. None of my guys have trample, so occasionally I have to have a Stormbreath Dragon to deal with Elspeth. And if she's already plus, then it becomes a problem. But Primordial straight out kills her.
Sure.
And then you got Aetherling to help with the control matchup as well, because your Aetherling may not be as good or may be just as good, but you can ramp yours out more and protect it faster. So you can have a faster Aetherling than the control deck can. Okay. And they have to deal with that and all your other threats as well. So it's just kind of diversify the threats, and Aetherling's just amazing against mono black too. I've had in testing, he's just been an all-star. So
you just kind of hedged your monster collection to try and have a few more answers against the control and.
I mean, if I'm gonna play blue, I might as well play Aetherling, right?
That's fair. Yeah. Definitely. And so Aetherling, you mentioned Elspeth. Like Aetherling can attack past the Elspeth token, so it's an additional answer there. Yeah,
and that's a problem too, because if you're trying to just monstrous your Pelucranos to get through, it's just it doesn't work most of the time, and I'd rather just be able to kill your Elspeth and then from there on make you find more answers.
Okay, that's reasonable. So you talked about beating Sphinx's Revelation decks, beating Elspeth in particular.
Sure.
Is that a matchup you're worried about coming in, or?
It's a matchup I'm worried about coming in. I'm also obviously worried about mono black. I hedge my bets a little bit. I had the Arbor Colossus in there, had the Chandra in there. Those are cards somewhat specific for the mono black. But I'm really okay with facing Esper. I am a little afraid of blue-white with Fated Retribution. I mean, I have 9 Planeswalkers.
Yeah, definitely.
They're already like X for wanting me when they Fated Retribution.
Any card that lets them sweep your Planeswalkers would be like a huge problem.
Yeah, so I'm a little afraid of that one, but the Esper matchup, I'm totally okay with it at this point.
So you think that Esper and blue-white, those are even. What do you think is your best matchup here? What are you hoping to face?
I'm hoping to face pretty much any aggro deck that wants. I figured with mono black doing so well, I'm going to run into red white burn a lot.
Sure.
So red white burn doesn't. I mean, your creatures aren't going to get through ever. Your Ash Zealots, your Chandra's Phoenixes, they're not going to get through. So now you just have burn spells. So now you're already down cards because your creatures are supposed to get in for 2 or 4 damage to help with your burn package.
Yeah.
And then on top of that, I have the monsters package with Courser and with I'm sorry, with Courser and with Scavenging Ooze, so that way I can gain a lot of life. And then the Cure kind of picks it up every now and then. It allows me to plus against a guy that, you know, a Mutavault that might get through or something, and then they can't ever beat Krakens. I've already Krakened once against a red-white burn deck, and he just scooped immediately. So.
Okay, fair enough. So let's talk about your sideboard a little bit. A lot of these cards, they're kind of standard monsters cards.
Yeah.
There were 2 cards in particular that you kind of wanted to point out. You said that one in particular had been an all-star for you.
Yeah.
Which is interesting. This is not a card that sees a ton of play. You have 1 Simic Charm.
I have 1 Simic Charm. It was the 75th card. I wanted a card that could help with Desecration Demon, so I'm already running the Cyclonic Risks because Mizzing Mortars doesn't beat the Desecration Demon. It just laughs it off.
Sure.
So Simic Charm, you know, bounces it back, gets me through. I played against the green-white aggro deck that had like all the tokens in the world, and it was just another bounce spell. And then finally, you just sneak in that 3 damage every once in a while. Then you know, it messes with combat math, and that's been nice. And in testing, I've had many a time somebody try to Hero's Downfall one of my Planeswalkers, so in order to catch back up on tempo, and you sneak a Simic Charm in there, and that just completely ruins their day.
Shroud your Planeswalker?
Yeah, pretty much. It's just hexproof my Planeswalker. All right, nice card. I'll trade my Simic Charm for your Hero's Downfall any day.
That seems to work. And then you have 1 Bow of Nylea as well. That was another card that you said.
The Bow was because I thought the red-white burn would pick up here because of how good Mono Black's been doing. So it's just a little nice. It's nice for the life gain, and given how good green-white did last week, I could see people picking the deck up.
Sure.
And green-white can't block my creatures profitably, especially if they have Death Touch.
Yeah.
So.
Okay. All right. So we just finished round 3, I believe. Is that right?
Yeah.
So you're 3-0.
3-0.
Off to a solid start.
Hoping for another one.
What have you played against so far?
I played against Red White Burn, Naya Hexproof, and Green White Aggro. So far, no mono. I dodged the mono-colored decks.
Right. So you mentioned that you were hoping to play against aggro every round. It kind of sounds like you have.
Yeah, I mean, I figured with the Mono Black doing so well, we're going to see a little bit more burn.
Yeah,
so
for sure. Yeah, so far, so good.
Play the metagame a little well.
All right, cool. Well, I'll be rooting for you. Thanks for
I appreciate it. Thank you.
Stick around. We've got plenty more coverage coming of the Standard Open here in Detroit.